this is a little paint program. This is actually shown in the first examples. We create a GUI, create a box, black, and we attach a field to it. And what we're looking for here is the mouse going down or moving around. And so what's going to happen is whenever the program sees the mouse going down, being clicked, or being moved around, the action, or if that's found in the action, what's going to happen in that block is we're going to append to that block at the dot that occurred. We're going to put a dot on the screen, basically. We're going to put that number, that pixel location, into the block. And when the action is up, we're going to append that line, so one dot line to the screen, and it starts out again with the blank draw effect with just a line in it, which is not at any location, so it won't appear on the screen until we start drawing. Pop that into Rebol. We get our black box. I push down the mouse and we get a dot. As I move it around, it continues to draw a 1 pixel line across the screen, which effectively gives us a drawing program. And one of the great things about the draw dialect is it lets you scale and distort images just by including coordinate points. One of the images built into the Rebol interpreter is this thing we call logo.gif. It's the Rebol logo. We're going to use it here again in a box with the draw effect. We put an image into the draw effect by using the word image, and we can stretch it and do any sort of distortion with it just by putting the coordinates at which it occurs. So in this case, the Rebol image is stretched from this point down to this point, down to this point, down to this point, which gives it almost a 3D effect. That's just a straight little black and white image, 2D image normally. Here we're going to create some animations. It's important to see, in this case, when the calculations occur inside a draw block, we either need to use the reduce or compose functions to make those get evaluated. And so you'll see a little tick mark by some of these words when they occur inside the draw block. That's another Rebol colloquialism that needs to be just sort of memorized. When you're working on calculations inside a draw block, make sure you put the reduce or compose functions, and to refer to that, you use the tick mark. So this is a little bit more of a complex, but same idea. We've got a coordinate, initial coordinate. Got a GUI with a box at that location. It's black. And here's the draw effect. Start out with an image with these coordinates, basically 300 by 300. And then we've got a button that says animated. We're going to run through a loop that goes through 140 iterations. And each time what we're doing is putting the image back into that block, and we're doing some calculations here, taking the initial position and subtracting a certain coordinate, and then we're creating a new point by working through using the incremented variable, creating a little pair here by rejoining 300 with the current point that's in the for loop, and then adding that to the initial value, and then we're changing that position variable, or using the position variable to again create another pair, and then updating the screen. And once that's done, we go through another loop that does basically the same thing. It's going to essentially just move each of these corners. So we have 4 different pairs of coordinates that are adjusted according to the for loop running from 1 to 300, and it's updated. And then here's the initial draw block with the updates. Pop that in, you'll see that it runs through 2 separate loops, changing the coordinates, the edge coordinates, the corner coordinates. That same logo, click on animate, it moves this corner down, and it moves the other corners down. That just shows you how you can loop through values to actually create animations with images. And this is just another quick example of an animation that loops through starting and ending points. And so again, we're doing some calculations. We need to use the little tick mark to refer to the object, to the line object. And so what we do here is create again a GUI with a black box, a button that says spin. We have a starting point and an ending point, and we loop through it 400 times. Again, using the reduce function, so we need to put a tick mark. And the start point is incremented by 1, the end point is decremented by 1, and an update occurs. It's going to essentially just spin this line around. Incrementing and decrementing both sides, you get a moving animation. There's a great little paint program at this URL in rebol.org, and what we're going to do is get it. It's called Paint Plus, and we're going to download that module and then do it. And then we use the built-in function in that module called paint none to start a blank image. Start here, and this is a little paint program. Only a couple hundred lines of code total. You can do freehand drawings. You can change the color. This is a fantastic way to see how to do graphics in Rebol. It has undo and clearing functions. You can save it, you can print it, you can dump all of the actual commands that make that graphic happen. Save it to the hard drive, for example. And it's just a fantastic little way to see. It's actually only 238 lines of code. And that demonstrates some of the power of and efficiency of Rebol's draw code. And there are a number of links here that really describe all the built-in shapes and functions and capabilities of draw. If you really want to do graphics with Rebol, these are the links that you should continue with.